right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So good morning to everybody who has joined in today, and welcome to another session of the BCAS Technology Initiatives Committee. At BCAS and within specifically this committee, we look forward to bring to our participants and peer professionals a lot of technology trends and technology solutions that are available for our profession. And from time to time, speakers and organizations, we try to bring them on board to share practical implementable solutions to some of these aspects. Today, therefore, we have with us Christopher Joseph. He is from Zoho and he's a marketing lead at Zoho on payroll. Christopher leads the marketing team for Zoho and has been associated with Zoho for more than 3 years now. In his current role, he handles the growth of its products across the globe. He's also responsible for building strategic partnerships with institutions to drive a mutually beneficial engagement for everybody involved. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you, Ishan. Thank you so much. That was a very, very
Just
kind and heartwarming welcome.
Thank you. And for all of us, while Christopher is going to, take charge for the next 1.5 odd hours, and we'll be leaving another 30 minutes behind in terms of Q&A session as well. What we'll try and deliver during this particular engagement is diverse salary structures and components and how they are to be articulated in, say, this particular software, which is Zoho TDS, PF, automated compliances, employee onboarding, automated payroll insights, and integration with cloud or management accounting softwares. So with that, I'll request Christopher to now take this stage forward and share his experience as well as expertise with our participants. Over to you, Christopher.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you so much, Ishan. I will quickly share my screen first. Please check and let me know if you guys are able to see the presentation. Can you quickly confirm if you are able to see the slide?
Yes, Christopher, this is good. I can see the slide, decoding the payroll challenge. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I expect everybody to see as well. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much once again, Isham, for the very, very warm welcome. And I'm happy to be here representing Zoho today. Right before we can get started, a quick housekeeping routine. I hope I'm audible to all of you. And if not, I quickly request you to refresh your browser once and get back in. Secondly, since we are doing a remote live session, there are chances of network or power disruption. Just in case if that happens, I kindly request you to give me a couple of minutes for the backup gen to kickstart so that I can rejoin the session and continue from where I left off. With that said, I think we can get started. Now, as most of the attendees here would know, our team has been conducting multiple sessions covering different aspects of business financials and how Zoho's technology can be a backbone for all of those different phases, right? Today, it's our turn to understand the payroll domain and how Zoho Payroll has been helping businesses transform their payroll operations for thousands and thousands of businesses across the country. Can you guys see my next slide? Yeah. Before we get a deep dive into the business operations of payroll and how the existing landscape is looking like, a little bit more about Zoho first. We are a 23-year-old company built right here in India. And over the last 2 decades, we've shipped out close to 45 plus products that has helped businesses manage their end-to-end operations, right from sales, marketing, HR, finance, you name it. We have over 60 million users accessing our platforms from 190 plus countries all over the globe. And as of today, Zoho Corporation employs more than 8,000 people, and they're all connected remotely from home, thanks to the wonderful innovation in technology that we have. And our entire theme for today's session is going to be based on technology as well. With that said, here's what we have for the day. A quick introduction about what goes into the payroll world, a typical payroll life cycle for any business, and then a short overview on the existing payroll landscape and how the existing landscape is also evolved and is posing a different challenge as on date. And then a quick introduction about the Zoho Payroll and what we built and what solutions the businesses are using and experiencing as on a daily basis, and the different scenarios and multiple facets of payroll that we are able to cover, and how we are bringing in different innovation and technology expertise from domains that are not necessarily a part of payroll, but still the features are capable enough to pull off things like that. And a very, very brief overview on how is it going to be beneficial for you guys. What can you do for your own business or for your own customers or clients, whoever you are serving, and a little bit of statistics-based testimonials from customers who really experience the platform and what they feel about it. So any payroll organization that we look at, the fundamental thought process that generally goes in is, when you hear the word payroll for the very first time, most of the times it's very restrictive in nature. When you ask someone, hey, what do you think payroll does? The immediate response that you're going to get is, they probably calculate paychecks for all my employees and they ensure that they are delivering it on time, right? But behind the scenes, there are a lot of work that goes in without getting noticed. And there are a lot of different teams involved in getting the pay slips out on time every month on time. Because that is one thing that will definitely bring down the reputation of any organization if a pay slip is delayed. So what goes into building a successful payroll lifecycle? So it all starts with business operations, as we all know. Because if there are multiple entities set up in different places within India or all over the globe, we need to get into the considerations of regional compliances within the country as well as outside the country. And it all starts from the places where your business operations are getting set up. And then comes the organization policy. Every organization is different. No two organizations can be the same. Of course, the general guidelines can be the same. Let's say, for example, a leave encashment process can be the same, but there can be small changes. And the technology that the businesses are dependent on should also be capable enough to understand all those organization policies and have the flexibility to accommodate all those various changes. And then comes the salary structure configuration. I don't have to explain this much further, but I think it's unique for each and every organization as well. The same flexibility point is applicable for here as well. And then comes the onboarding challenges. More predominantly, even till date, there are a lot of organizations that are still dependent on manual and paper-based work to collect all the necessary information from the employees for them to create a pay slip that is acceptable for the organization, that is acceptable for the employees, and if they want to produce that as a proof for applying for a visa or whatever it is, it should look presentable and it should have all the statutory elements. So to collect all the information, many businesses are still dependent on manual work. So that is something that needs to be looked at. And after that comes the most important payroll calculation and tax computation part, which is self-explanatory. And then comes the payslip distribution part, where we disperse the salaries, and then immediately after that we send the payslips. In some countries, there are deadlines before which we need to circulate the payslip, which is usually within 3 or 4 days as soon as the payment is done. And then comes the most important part, accounting for the payroll expenses. From an organization's perspective, it is probably one of the biggest expense, if not the biggest, in some of the organizations. And then comes reporting of all that with the government, and then returns filing, and then recording that digitally, or recording that in the paper-based system that people are following. But this is the overall cycle that any typical organization that is undergoing payroll on a daily basis. If you happen to stumble upon a HR, or if you are taking care of payroll yourself, or if you happen to stumble upon someone who's taking care of finance, you can quickly inquire them, and these are the background activities that they go through with. So why did I even touch upon all these background activities? What is the underlying reason? Why do we want to get a quick overview of what goes into payroll? Is because in the next few slides, we are going to be talking about what are the prevalent practices that are being implemented in a lot of different organizations, and how they are holding the organizations backward in some cases, and in some cases without even recognizing that most of the tasks that are being taken care of is unproductive, the organization still chooses to go ahead with that. It is understandable to some extent when businesses are starting out. The first priority is not optimizing the operations, but rather taking the business to a new level. But we will also talk about what are the different advantages that can come along if businesses can, start thinking about adopting payroll from the very first employee that they hire. So with that said, we will take a look at the existing landscape. It will be a classification of what customers are using at any point of time currently, and what customers actually want. So as you can see, most of the times it's outdated technology or systems or practices, but in real time, customers want something that is a central system that speaks to different systems like the HR or the finance team, and has the ability to see everything from one place. So currently, the present landscape, as I said, anytime a business just gets started with, the first system that they rely upon is paper-based system, which is obviously time-consuming and inaccurate, or sometimes it's very, very difficult to maintain. And but what they ideally want is an automatic payroll. It can be software, or it can be any mechanism that's implemented, but it should be automated, and it should save time for them to focus on tasks that are very, very important. And this automation, it should not happen in bits and pieces, but it should automate different phases throughout the payroll journey or the payroll cycle. That's the reason why we introduced what a typical payroll cycle looks like in the first place. So we need to have technology that backs the organization to the hilt in all the phases, rather than just optimizing it only for the payroll computation part or the tax calculation part. A lot of you will agree when we say that most of the times you come across spreadsheets. Businesses dependent on spreadsheets for calculating their payroll. There are a lot of fundamental problems with that. I mean, without any offense to spreadsheets, they are a brilliant tool for anybody to get started with immediately. But what happens is, if we want to address the entire payroll life cycle, I don't think spreadsheets is something that is tailor-made for that. Yes, it is very, very brilliant in math functions. It is very, very brilliant in accommodating data and manipulating data and gleaning insights from that. But is it all automated? No. We still have to extract insights from it manually. And even before that, we have to set things up manually. So when there are a lot of different staffs involved in it, there will be multiple sheets, and there's a great chance of missing cell values or broken formulas, or sometimes the sheet itself goes missing, which we've seen in some of our customers narrating to us when they say that these are the practical challenges that we want to avoid using spreadsheets. But what do they ideally want instead? Instead of a spreadsheet, they are generally looking for a flexible system that can accommodate their growing business needs. Because any business that's on the growth path is not going to expand without the expansion in employee base as well. And when that happens, I think businesses are actually not able to keep up with the evolving pace in which the compliance landscape changes, or in which the payroll requirements, their own payroll requirements change as well. So that is the expectation, but still predominantly in India, most of the organizations are dependent on spreadsheets as well. Now, for some organizations, there will be scenarios where they are out of spreadsheets, but since there are tons and tons of options for them out there in the real world on how they can, complete a payroll for their organization, they immediately, the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, can I go to the market and get an expert in payroll, an expert solution in accounting, an expert solution in HRMS, and somehow hope that they all work together. This practice can mostly be seen in matured organizations. By matured, I mean somewhere between an employee count of 30 to 100 or 30 to 50 employees. Ideally, what they don't want to do is to be getting all the necessary payroll inputs from one vendor, employee related information from another vendor, payroll information from another one. Ideal scenario is all these platforms, different platforms, should be tightly integrated into one platform or housed under one umbrella at least, so that there's no dependency on many vendors to deliver accurate information on time, every month and 12 times a year. The most preferable way for customers to solve this, they want a transparent communication to be established with one vendor, so that they are comfortable with the way the vendor operates, so that they can set their expectations clear, and they can make minor changes into their own payroll process to accommodate all these changes in practice. When we move on, there will be some organizations that would have thought, okay, we need to go in-house also, but sometimes what they might not also realize is the in-house systems can very, very quickly become outdated. Of course, it's not a knock on any of the current system that is being implemented. But what happens is your payroll staff, they tend to stay with you for a very long time. They can get comfortable very, very quickly with the technology that they're using. And when someone's trying to optimize the entire organization's productivity, these issues will not even come up. And the prime reason for that is because most of the people who are working on the system on a daily basis, they're very comfortable working in this. It's a double-edged sword. One, they're very comfortable, so they can get things done in their own way. But on the other hand, it's also going to take some time for them to catch up with the practices that are evolving continuously and the landscape that are evolving continuously as well. So what happens in an in-house but outdated system is that even for a very, very small change, there's massive dependence on the internal IT department. Take a look at last year, for example. The payroll landscape has changed completely from last year to this year. There have been numerous changes to tax laws. There have been numerous changes to the percentages of PF, VSI, labor laws, and everything. And They're also planning to consolidate all the different labor laws into 4 different codes in order to simplify the compliance landscape and digitize it. So when all these changes are happening very, very thick and fast, it is better that we reduce the friction within the interdepartment so that the organization can enable themselves to be a little bit more agile in order to have their business compliant and also to be very, very quick in adapting to the changes that are happening around them. We've spoken about in-house systems that are very rigid, but there's also this another existing pattern that we see, which is in-house, but there are also disparate systems. A few years back, we can never think of contextual interfaces on our phone, right? Everywhere, whenever we used our mobile phone, the interface remained constant because there was no touch screen on it. It was all keys and buttons. So, for example, and when we order something online and when we are about to enter the one-time password to complete the transaction in some app, there will be numbers and letters. Even today, there will be numbers and letters appearing on our interface on a touch phone, making it incredibly hard for us to, capture the right one-time password. But in some platforms, only the numbers show up. There's nothing else, minimal distraction and easy to use systems. Every software that starts with solving this problem very, very well right at the start, but without continuous innovation, there won't be much improvement, and the staff who use them again get comfortable with it. So when there is a system that's in-house, built in-house, and that's not very, very adaptable to the changing needs, there's duplicate data entry everywhere between the HR teams, because the data has to be fed into the HR system first, and then the same thing has to be replicated into the payroll system, because some of the information, the basic information like the employee name, the Aadhaar card number or PAN card number, something that's very, very mandatory to be displayed on a payslip. All that information needs to be housed inside the payroll system as well. And multiple systems to track all the progress is going to get very, very difficult. What businesses ideally want is a unified data model with seamless transition between multiple systems so that they can quickly maneuver between different systems and without any drop in quality or without any drop in the user experience. When we have systems like this, it's very, very typical in a sense. Think of it like a cold war that is started between different disciplines within the same organization. These are not our words. These are some of the analogies that our customers have given us. They've said that our HR, our finance, our accounting, and our payroll team sometimes imagine a situation where they don't talk to each other at all. When the systems don't talk to each other, getting payroll out on a consistent basis every year, every month, it's going to be a nightmare experience. But since we've come this far, we also wanted to understand from our customers on what is holding them back. And one of the major reasons that they gave us was the hesitancy in transition to technology, not only cloud, but technology for matters, because they are primarily dealing with data that is very, very personal, and the information that they are dealing with is also very, very personal. So obviously security comes in place. So that is the fundamental reason why most of the businesses choose not to quickly adapt. But what cloud-based systems, especially in Zoho, with the security practices that are being followed, customers ideally wanted flexible and secure cloud-based systems, and they were happy adopting it. And that's the reason why we have our presence felt for across the organization. So we've taken some numbers from the Global Payroll Association. We let you dwell on those numbers on where most of the organizations are, and from whatever we've gathered from our customers and whatever we've observed so far, this is the current landscape, and the Global Payroll Association also agrees. 60% of the businesses are still using manual payroll, and there are still a lot of businesses that are getting penalized. Big brands, well-known brands that are still getting penalized for non-compliance of or non-remittance of whatever dues that they've collected from their employees' paycheck. So these are all some of the core problems that had to be addressed. While these are some of the traditional challenges that businesses have seen, the last 1.5 years or so has thrown businesses a completely different challenge altogether. So far, we've seen people in the office space on a daily basis. We interact with them, we talk to them, we know how they work, we know what they expect, and how they expect the information to be delivered to them. And everything has changed now. There's an explosion of remote work adoption, and when that happens, there's no other choice. The organization has to adapt to all these fast practices as well. And the technology should also be comfortable enough for the employers as well as the employees to use, because if you think of the technology that is available today, in terms of smartphone, in terms of exposure, in terms of live stream videos of almost everything that's happening around the world, the technology that everybody is using outside of their workplace is actually very, very on par with how fast the world is moving towards. But when they go back to their office, they are still stuck in doing things the old way. So there's a massive mismatch in the way in which even the current practices are being taken up. So there's an explosion in remote work, and remote work has only accelerated this digital transformation across all the organizations. And with remote work also comes this very basic thing of distributed workforce as well. We are no longer able to meet each other or greet each other in person. We are all dependent on having remote sessions, and the fundamental issue with that is we can't communicate on our own terms. We have to be always dependent on someone else's time as well. We have to respect the time, obviously. So the communication that needs to happen, especially for payroll to be successful, with a distributed workforce, the technology better be right up there. Otherwise, it's going to get very, very necessary, relevant inputs on time and place. So these are the collaboration challenges that distributed and increase in remote work also brings to the payroll department. We've classified it based on different teams, what all information that they have to contribute to the payroll team for one successful payroll run. So if these are the different dependencies that exist, how can organizations keep themselves ahead of time so that they are well covered to solve all these challenges? So we'll be sharing this presentation with you guys as well, so you can go through these collaboration challenges. I'm not going to go deep dive onto this, but these are self-explanatory challenges. So what are we doing from Zoho Payroll to solve all these challenges, right? We at Zoho Payroll, our goal is to help businesses scale from foundational payroll practices to transformational payroll practices. And we've started doing this for almost 2.5 years now, and we have thousands of customers on the platform. So how did we get to do this? In the upcoming part, we will talk very, very briefly about the core capabilities of Zoho Payroll, but we will focus a little bit more on how businesses are using the platform at present throughout the payroll cycle, so that we all get to understand how technology is playing a major role in what we want to do and how we are able to accomplish that with Zoho Payroll as well. So, excuse me for a minute. Yeah, so in short about Zoho Payroll, it's a cloud-based software platform crafted for businesses of all sizes and across industries and verticals. We've always focused on some of the core pillars that usually helps any business to solve all the present day and the future challenges that might lie ahead. So we've laid it out in 5 different phases. One is accessibility. It is very, very relevant during this particular time, especially because of the very challenge that we saw just a couple of slides back. There's remote work, and then there's distributed work challenge, and then there's collaboration challenge as well. So accessibility comes a core part of solving payroll. And since it's cloud-based, businesses, business owners, and employees, they can access the system regardless of wherever they are. And it's a single sign-on, so they can access the system as long as there is a stable internet connection from anywhere, anytime. Systems can be accessed. The next core part is digitization. It is no longer enough if we manage all this information in paper-based systems. We have to have this digitized, and we have to make sure that different teams are able to collaborate in this particular digital system at once. It should be a concurrent system as well. So digitization is a core challenge that we've solved. And as we spoke, integration, we need systems in-house from one vendor. We don't want the challenge of talking to multiple vendors to get all the different information. But at the same time, we need all these systems to, speak to one another and not operate on silos. So there's a very, very tight integration between a HRMS system called Zoho People and a payroll management system, Zoho Payroll, and Zoho Books, which most of you would be familiarized with. It's a GST compliant accounting platform that we have. So there's a tight synergy between all these 3 different platforms so that information duplication or anything that's captured inside the HRMS system, whatever needs to flow into the payroll system, flows automatically without having to speak to the different personals from different teams. So we've solved the challenge of integration with in-house and single sign-on access to all the different platforms. And then comes security. I'd like to dwell on this a little bit longer because we recently did a transformational webinar series on cloud payroll, educating business owners, and most of the small business owners who attended that webinar, we asked them a very generic question on how much of a priority cloud payroll security is for them when they get started with trying to optimize their payroll operation. And to our surprise, most of them did not even think along the lines of payroll security when they are starting out, or when they are at the very initial stages of implementation and things like that. But we'd like to highlight one important factor. We all know Facebook, right? Facebook, as we know it, is one of the leading technology companies all across the globe. But a few years before, millions of Facebook's very own employees' payroll information was leaked online. And if we have to take a step back and understand the reason on why this leak happened, it's a very, very simple practice that they followed, which you might think that for a technology company of their stature shouldn't have happened. But all those payroll-related information were stored on a hard drive, and a portable hard drive, and that was given to the payroll administrator for Facebook. and he displays it. That's it. So these are some of the common challenges which we might not think of right at the beginning, but that is something that we at Zoho believe in very, very strongly. We have a private first approach and a security first approach to solving problems. And we cover that in two different facets. One is the infrastructure security, where all our applications are hosted, and individual application security as well. So for infrastructure security, we have dedicated servers within India, and we serve data to our customers from our own dedicated servers. We don't rent anything, or we don't hire any other external vendors. There's multi-factor authentication and two-factor authentication with with real-time one-time passwords. So anybody who needs to get into our system has to breach our multi-factor and two-factor authentication as well. And we follow the government norms for data backup. So whenever a customer asks us saying, hey, where is my data? And we are in a position to retrieve it and give it to them for the duration that we agree on a contractual terms. So we've covered the infrastructure security, and when it comes to app security, even within a different team like payroll, HR, and finance team, if we actually take a notice, only the highest, only the CFO or the payroll administrator who is in charge of taking care of payroll operations will have access to all the payroll data. Members from the HR team or members from the finance team and someone else who's responsible for managing payroll, even they might not have access to all the payroll related information. So what do? We have fine-grained user roles and permissions module that will actually give the same user experience for all the different teams that are collaborating on the platform. The UI remains the same, the experience remains the same. It's just that we ensure that people with the right roles and responsibilities see the relevant information for them. And payslips is again something very, very sensitive. So we offer password protected payslips and tax documents and things like that. So we've solved the challenge of security within the product as well as within the infrastructure that is surrounding the product as well. And we take pride in building a scalable technology that helps businesses grow together, right? Over a period of years, if we've seen, most of the mature organizations, the sophisticated technology is mostly reserved for them because without any offense again, most of the times it's about growing to that particular phase and having the necessity to operate or having the necessity to optimize the payroll department's productivity and things like that. But we started with a different perspective. We wanted to solve business challenges from the grassroots level. And why can't we solve this at the very beginning itself? So we have a model that helps businesses pay as they scale, which will not burn their pockets, but at the same time, the sophisticated technology can be enjoyed from the very beginning as well. And there's no infrastructure cost or there's no internal IT department cost, or there's not a long time deployment time or anything like that. Business can just get signed up and then they can just get started. So these are some of the fundamental advantages of cloud, but these are something that we've adopted religiously within the payroll ecosystem as well. So how does Zoho Payroll help in optimizing the payroll operations in each and every phase of the payroll cycle? That is what we will be seeing in the upcoming slides. Most of the business cases that we will discuss, they are all common problems that we all will be able to relate to. And we will just see a very, very high level perspective on how Zoho Payroll is solving all those challenges. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to cover the entire product in depth, we can either do that at the end of the session, where I can show you around the product, or in case if you would like to reach out to us separately, we leave you guys with contact information to get in touch with us separately for hosting separate sessions as well. So we'll quickly start with the very first phase, the business operations phase. We discussed about a same business being present in multiple states within India. Since we are talking about India payroll, we will strictly restrict ourselves with operations within India. Assume there are multiple entities or multiple branches set within India. So how do you configure that? Even beyond how do you configure, how do we comply with the regional law? So we built the product in such a way that the business owners do not need to worry about how they can stay compliant. All the compliance rules for all the states across India is built right inside the product. So we'll take professional tax for an example. Assume there are 5 different branches for your organization set up in different places within India. And professional tax is not even applicable in some of the states. Let's say, for example, professional tax is not applicable for Delhi. But if your organization has employees working out of Tamil Nadu or Mumbai, there is professional tax, and they follow a cycle. So we've considered all this, and when businesses want to set up their location, they are also inheriting the underlying compliance machine that we built that is optimized for each and every state across India. So all we have to do is set up the different locations in the HR system and replicate the information in payroll, and all the employees will automatically be synced to the right branches, so that we don't have to rekey in the information, and the employees will be compliant based on the different locations and different work locations that they are working out of. And then comes the support for multiple business entities as well under one roof, because you don't want to be switching between different interfaces within the payroll organization itself. Within the payroll system itself. So we've solved that by bringing in support for multiple entities within one roof. And if you want to switch between different organizations and process payroll, we can do that just by the click of a drop down, and then you have all the different options. If you can see where my mouse is pointing to. So these are the different legal entities that can be supported within the product. There's no restriction on this. There can be as many legal entities as one business has, and we can have settings configured for all these different entities separately as well. And when we move on to the employee onboarding phase, this is a very interesting challenge that we had to solve. Since we were building for businesses now and for the businesses in the future, and since the predominant trend is to store all the employee information in a spreadsheet, and since it's also something that most of the businesses rely on before they decide to go ahead with a different system. Since the data is there, we've given them support for importing or bringing in all the information in one go instead of having to add information one by one. But if you take a look at why we have add employees, this is for all the small scale businesses that are out there who are still not heavy on their payroll, but they still want a reliable system to track all the necessary information without having to store it anywhere manually. So we have flexibility to add employees separately, and for some organizations that want to bring in the data in bulk, they can bring in data in just a single click, where we allow them to import data of different formats, be it the salary structure format, or be it their reimbursement history, or be it their IT declaration or POI data. All that can be brought into the system with bulk import in just one go. Or else, if they want to set up the HR and payroll integration right at the very beginning, even before they kickstart their payroll, we have the ability to set up the HR system, and the data flows from HR to payroll automatically there as well. So this is how we solve the onboarding challenge in 3 different phases, and all the information collected is stored digitally as well inside the platform. And then comes the customization of salary structure. Some organizations, we can definitely say that no 2 organizations might have the same set of components that are there for salary. So we have the flexibility to create and edit and add all the new requirements for any business according to their own salary structure, and we can even classify it based on designations as well. If they want to store a separate salary structure for CEOs and CFOs and everybody in the C-suite, they can create that as a template and they can store that. So whenever there's a fresh board member coming in, you can just directly associate that template. And it's not even the case for just the board members. It can be applied to the entire organization hierarchy as well. So there is support for different components. There's variable pay, there's pre-tax and post-tax deduction components that you guys, if you want to add, and there's custom earning components as well. If you want to have a specific treatment for each and every earning component that you want to have it as part of your organization. So there's flexibility to almost build anything into the salary structure before the parent can be started. And there's also flexibility to add benefits like VPF and other things to which most of the employees will prefer if they want to save taxes for their on their payslip. And the employer should be in a position to track all those pre-tax deductions that he's going to deduct from the employees for their tax saving benefits and things like that. So we have that covered as well. And all of it can be associated to a template so that any new hire who's going to join in, we don't have the necessity of having to create different salary templates for different people. We don't have to do that. It's just already, it will be available in as a template, and all you have to do is just associate that template with the employee when you're onboarding, when you're on the onboarding phase. So we give that as an option in the UI itself. So once you click on it, the entire salary structure gets replicated automatically. So that is how we've solved the problem of customizing and configuring salary structures for employees of different levels and different pay scales and belonging to different designations as well. We now come to the most important portion, which is automating payroll. And when we say automating payroll, there is a lot of information that needs to be gathered from multiple departments. And because of the tight integration with the HR system, most of the information just flows in into the payroll system. So it all starts with just simply after all the employee related information is keyed in, the system automatically creates a parent, and it summarizes neatly for the employers on the overall cost that they're looking at, including tax liabilities and everything. And whenever they want to add further inputs before they run their parent, they also have the flexibility to add inputs on the go dynamically as well. That can be done for one employee separately, or it can be done in bulk as well. And the most important part will be collecting leave information from employees. And if we want to build all that, if we want to collect all that leave information, it should be very, very contextual. We should be able to pull all of it in one go. So if businesses are still in the practice of wanting to import their own loss of pay information data, they can import that in one. Or otherwise, if they prefer an automated system, when they have people and payroll synced together, they can just pull loss of pay information in just one go. All they need to do is just click on the pull LOP button, and the leaves and attendance data gets captured into the system automatically. And that helps in automating the major chunk of the payroll input work. If you can go back in slides, like 10 slides above, where we spoke about the different payroll inputs that every business needs to get. This is one of the major components, getting leave and attendance data of every employee. And if that is optimized and automated, then I don't think businesses will be spending a lot of time in completing their payroll. And once all the information is captured within the system, the payroll admin will have the ability to quickly run through the system and check if everything is captured. And there is an auto-generated bank advice as well that will prepare bank files for businesses to, upload the bank files and transfer employee salaries. We have solved that in a much better way as well. There is direct deposit within the product where we have partnered with leading banks, but I will touch upon that in upcoming slides. And then in case if we want to recheck our payroll, we can do that by quickly rejecting the pay run and then wanting to add a variable pay for one employee in case if the employer has forgotten to add it and things like that. So all the flexibility is available, and as soon as this is since the parent related data and everything related to the employee, which most of the business owners are doing manually right now, is created and condensed into a very, very simple one-click parent. It is all automated in the backend. All the employer needs to do is 3 clicks. The first click is to create the parent that is already created. We just have to just go into the parent. The second thing is to check all the data and then submit and approve. And the third thing is to pay the employees. And all the other components that needs to follow in terms of payslip distribution, in terms of cascading the information to employees, all that is addressed automatically as well. So this is what we mean by automating the entire sequence of payroll, and this usually takes up a lot of time when businesses don't have such systems in place. They are forced to send all these payslips manually to all their employees in the form of email and other things. So everything post payroll is automated as well, right from salary payments to payslip distribution to accounting. We'll touch upon accounting in depth in a little while. When we talk about automation and when we talk about payroll, taxes and compliance is something that we cannot skip at all. This is one of the core pillars on why we even need payroll software. So as I said right at the start, there were numerous changes to payroll laws, and all that needed to happen very, very quickly because the government needed to support a lot of small business owners in the tough time, and they had a very strict deadline for implementation, right? The ESI rate, percentage of ESI rate was revised, the contribution of PF rate was revised. In some cases, the government, they themselves said that they will take care of the 12% contribution for employees of a certain limit and a certain growth rate. So all these things, when the government is actually trying to implement all these things at a very, very rapid pace, the system should also be having the capacity to run all these things and adapt to all these things at a very, very faster rate. So that is when a cloud-based system comes into the picture, and the advantage is actually massive because there is no expectation on the business owner to do any of this. The system gets updated automatically in the backend, and it will. And most of the businesses whom we've supported during this time, they were able to stay compliant just like that, because most of the not most of the all of the regulation changes and all of the changes to payroll laws, they were incorporated within the system even before the deadline, so that businesses were able to just download a report at the end of the day and submit it for their returns filing process. So this automation actually happens for every state across India, and all this is done in the backend. So the dependency on doing something like this on the employer is completely taken off their hands. So, which is not the case if they are, are dependent on a spreadsheet, or if they are doing it manually, or even if they are doing it through an outdated system that they've built in-house as well. So, taking out the liability and owning the responsibility for our own customers to help them stay compliant is something that we take very, very seriously. So we ensure that we are updating all the tax rules on time, and we help our business owners generate compliant tax forms every single time. And beyond just being compliant with all the generic rules that businesses have, a lot of organizations also have the need for customizing or configuring EPF or ESI or PT or LWF and LWF, because some of the employees might be applicable for all these statutories, and some of the employees might not even be applicable to all these statutories. So when it comes to that, we also solve it by giving the employer the control to choose who will be applicable for EPF and PT deduction, and who might not be applicable for EPF and ESI and LWF deduction. So all that control for the employer is still available at an individual employee level as well. And if they want to make some changes, they can still do that. At this point, I'd like to stop, and I'd like to ask if there are any questions, or else I would continue further. And just excuse me for 1 second. I need to switch on my power outlet as well. Just 1 second, please. Yeah, if there are any questions now, we can take it, or else I can continue. I'll probably give 5 to 10 seconds before I continue with the session. All right, moving on. So this is what we were covering about the employee level customization on what all compliance practices that any particular employee needs to adhere to, because based on the salary that they're drawing, some of them might be applicable for ESI, especially for the ones who are earning less than of 21,000. And in case if they are above that, ESI might not be applicable for all those employees. So those are the customization options that are available within the product at an employee level, to give more control to the business owners themselves to decide what's the best category to put their employees under, of course, within the compliance realm. And having a record within the payroll platform as soon as the compliance payments are made, that is something that is very, very important. I've taken an example of an overdue payment, because so that we all can know what happens when a business owner fails to record it within the system. So for now, the support is for TDS payments, And as soon as the TDS payments are made every quarter, and as soon as the Form 24 is filed at the end of every year, the employer will have the option to record all those TDS payments within the system, so that they also know that they have paid this with the government, and they can enter the challan information inside the system as well. So whenever there is a need for an audit, they can just open the system and show it to their auditors on the fly on what amount of tax filings that they have done for the entire fiscal year, or for whichever duration that is being requested and asked. So we'll also discuss about salary payments in a little bit more detailed way. Traditionally, it's been bank transfers for most of the organizations even now. And if some of the business owners still believe in the concept of check fees, they can still record it within the platform. But payments have evolved in itself, right? If you cast your mind like 10 years back, banks and business software were two different entities. They were two different entities that never mixed worlds together at all. They were completely different. Banks had their own way of generating revenue, and business software platforms had their own way of generating revenue. Fast forward to 10 years now, we have UPIs, we have faster ways of engaging with businesses and making the transactions happen. And even the banks, they are a lot more open to collaboration right now, rather than how they operated, say, a decade ago. So we have partnerships with leading banks. So currently we have ICICI Bank and Yes Bank and HDFC is in the pipeline. And we are looking to integrate with a lot of leading banks all across the country to make the entire salary payments process frictionless. So all the business, imagine this scenario of having to complete a bank transfer, going to the bank and standing in queue and then completing a payment. No, nothing of the thoughts now. Everything comes within the payroll platform inbuilt, and once you sync your corporate account with the or any of the account that you use to disperse salary to your employees, you don't even have to leave the platform. You can pay your employees right from within the Zoho Payroll platform itself. And the entire transaction again end-to-end encrypted too. So because of this advancement and because of this recent trend in the way in which banks are trying to get involved with many business software, we are also in the forefront of getting it integrated with a lot of leading banks, so that you can associate your accounts very, very effortlessly and then direct deposit from within the product itself. So this is how a sample overview of how connected banking will look within Zoho Payroll. And so you can easily configure your own account within Zoho Payroll, and that is how the workflow looks like. The admin, they will be able to initiate it, and then it goes to the employer's ICICI Bank, and from there it goes directly to the employee's bank. So that's how the typical workflow looks like, and of course it's automated and it's secured and end-to-end encryption. So you will get a one-time OTP every single time whenever the payment is initiated. And you can also have workflow rules, as in without the payroll administrator approving this, this will not go forward. Or you can set a restriction like only the payroll administrator has access to process a pay run and initiate payment. So we have these fine-grained user roles being built within the system, as I said earlier, to give more control to the business owners for areas that absolutely need control. And we talked about distribution of payroll forms, and we also hinted about how the technology that is there in the hands of every individual right now is far more advanced than what a lot of people had like 5 to 10 years back. So we need to keep pace with that change as well, right? So we've digitized everything. So pay slips, Form 16 and tax related forms, everything is available within the self-service portal system of the employees. And that is also again password protected. So you can set that for your employees right at the beginning when you're onboarding the employee, and they will be able to access the ESS portal from wherever they are. And with this particular digitization, we are eliminating the amount of paper that every payroll professional usually encounters on a monthly basis, be it collecting forms for IT declaration or collecting proofs for the submitted IT declaration. For all those things, businesses were dependent on a lot of paperwork, and payroll staffs themselves, they were looking at mountains of paper put right in front of them for validation. Whenever we leave that to manual evaluation, what typically happens is there can be easily mismatch in the proof that is submitted by one person will be associated to a completely different person as well. So all these things have to be dealt with, and they have to be dealt with in a very, very futuristic way. So ESS portals with the ESS portals, we've done that. So as soon as the pay run is completed and payment is made, all the forms will be available inside the self-service portal. On the right side of the screen, you can take a look at how the self-service portal is going to look like for each and every employee. We also give them history on salary details, what all they've invested to save taxes, and if there are any reimbursement requests that they need to place, they can do that. And all the Form 16s and outstanding loans or salary advances that they have taken from their employer can also be recorded, and all the history will also be tracked in the self-service portal as well. And all of the payroll forms can be downloaded from that system. And the way we've made communication a lot more simple between employer and employee communication, right? It is actually one of the biggest challenges that businesses don't realize that it is a challenge. For example, even today, a lot of them are dependent on email communication to notify their employees about opening up the IT declaration or IT declaration window, saying, hey, this is the window before which you have to submit all the declaration so that we can consider that for tax declaration, and then we can calculate taxes accordingly. And similarly, even for reimbursements and processing all those reimbursements, communication is still a problem, and they are dependent on email. And we've solved it by having a notification bar within the employee self-service portal itself. So every time a new window is opened up, the employee gets notified automatically within their dashboard saying, declare your IT savings for this particular financial year. And this is the particular deadline for it. So if you do it within this particular timeline, our system will take it automatically. They will be mapped to the right employee profile, and deductions will be taken care of. So there is one other major problem that the self-service portal also solves. What happens is, during reimbursements, in some cases, employees might claim a little bit more than what they are entitled to. And at that point of time, business owners need to have the control, and they need to have a faster way of contacting or getting in touch with the employee and telling them, hey, you've submitted bills for something that is not included in this particular scheme for you. So we need to get that message across to the employees a little bit more faster, right? So how we've solved that is, we have a real-time messaging platform built within the payroll product. So admins can actually interact with the employees like as if they are doing a text message exchange. They can tell the employee saying, this proof is not very clear. Can you resend a picture of this proof? And then the employee can read that, and then they can reply it on the go, and then they will be able to upload the proof from the mobile phones as well. So That is how we are planning to take communication forward, and with the ecosystem of products that are available within Zoho, we will enrich this experience even further so that the friction between employer and employee is a lot less compared to what it is in the current landscape. And then comes the most important part, accounting for the payroll expenses, and then reconciling it at the end of every month, or in some cases at the end of every year. So even before we get to that phase of automating the accounts and capturing the right journal entries and having it reflect in our accounting system, we need real-time reports first for businesses to have the real-time visibility on what's happening. So we have created a number of reports that gives an overview of payroll information, an overview of statutories, what all they've paid, and some of these reports are built in the format that the government expects. So all the business owner needs to do is just download that report and then upload it into the portal directly without having to format it or without having to rearrange the information before they can upload it and file the challan. So we've taken care of building or generating data in a format that the government expects, so that it's just a matter of downloading here and uploading it there. Very soon we will also automate the compliance payment process right from within the platform itself. So instead of just merely recording your challans, you will also be able to make payments within the platform also. That will bring the product to a completely different stand from where we are right now. But for now, we are solving it efficiently. We are giving them all the information that they want, and they just have to upload it and then key in the challan details within the system to get it recorded. And there are employee-based reports because there's a necessary for getting granular in times of salary revision to know exactly where each and every employee stands. And there is diff reports in compensation as well, so that at the time of appraisal, business owners can quickly evaluate how much they were paying their employees before and how much they can do now, and all the comparison is available real time. And as soon as every pay run is done, all the information reflects here automatically. So business owners need not have to wait for a considerable amount of time, or they don't have to sift their entire payroll records in the form of spreadsheets to build all these reports. All these are built, come pre-built as well. And when we talked about payroll security in the beginning, we've given importance for security here in terms of activity logs as well. So outside of the user roles and permissions, the payroll administrator at any given point of time will be able to see any simple small action that has happened within the product in terms of activity logs. Everything that they do gets recorded here, and it's actually easy to backtrack in case if we want to see if there are any changes. It can be applicable even on simpler use cases like we might have built a salary template and we might have associated that salary template with a different employee. So how do we backtrack all those things? And we have activity logs for all those, so that we can quickly go back and quickly readjust according to what we need to do instead of what has happened. And very recently, you might have heard about the audit trail rule as well from the government, that all the business applications need to track every single thing that is happening inside the product. We had it inbuilt. We weren't waiting for the government to bring in a regulation like this, because it's very, very important that the business owner actually understands the importance of all the changes that they make to a payroll system, and we gave them this flexibility right at the start itself. And when it comes to posting journal entries for all the expenses related to payroll, all the journal entries are automated. All you have to do is integrate your Zoho Payroll product with Zoho Books account. And as soon as you are done with that, you will get a host of options like which bank would you like to transfer the salary from on a monthly basis. Right from that to customizing chart of accounts for every single category. Like reimbursement expense can go into a separate category, salary expense can go to a separate category, tax liabilities can go to a separate category. All that can be configured based on how each and every business would like to maintain their accounting book. And all these transactions also get posted into the, they get generated as a report inside Zoho Payroll, and they also get posted as journal entries inside Zoho Books as well. So this is what I was hinting at when I said all the customizations are also available right at the beginning. And if you can see these two screens, one is Zoho Payroll and one is Zoho Books. All the journal entries are classified and the expenses are recorded accordingly. And as soon as they are done, inside the accounting system itself, the transactions can be matched. They can either be matched in bulk or they can either be matched in single entries as well. However, it's up to the convenience of the business owner and their accountant on how they want to do it. But there is flexibility to do it both ways. And then comes one of the most important part, elevating employee experience. So when I talked about the real-time conversation ability between a payroll administrator and an employee, right? Those are things that are not necessarily a part of payroll challenge to be solved. But those are challenges that most businesses don't know that exist within their organization, right? Communication is a major part for payroll because of the different teams that are involved and the sheer volume of conversation that happens between them. So employee to employee communication and employee to employer communication and employer to employer communication are things that needs to be streamlined, and they need to have the technology to back that as well. So we are bringing mobility to payroll with an mobile first app, which is native, and it's also available in both iOS and Android platform. All the employees can download this employee self-service portal, and whatever their administrators are asking them to do, be it submit the IT declaration or be it submit the reimbursement forms or download their pay slips, get notified about pays, and all those things will be available in their mobile phones itself. So it has always been important, but right now it is very important that we go to a place where the current generation is. We need to meet them where they are, and where they are right now is they are in the mobile first world, and we need to have technology, or we need to have systems that back the implementation of all that in real time. And we've solved that by providing a mobile app that the employees can utilize to do just almost about everything that is expected out of them to do when during the payroll process. So how can chartered accountants benefit out of this? I am just going to give a very high level overview on how the system is actually built to solve some of the major requirements that accountants have as trusted advisors of business owners themselves. Within India, in most of the scenarios, right? Nothing happens before, nothing that goes into the accounting books happens before you guys taking a look at it, right? So especially for you, what can Zoho Payroll do? One, if you're doing any outsourced services already for your payroll client, you can maintain all their different legal entities under one platform, as I showed right at the beginning. And you can automate all the compliance process for all your clients and customers, and you can actually help them stay compliant throughout the year without having to worry about compliance or compliance related penalties, because we've seen so many brands ending up paying crores and crores of rupees. So that is something that can be looked at. And with the system that we have in place, there's transparent collaboration with your clients, because you can also get onboarded as part of the administration team, and you can make changes to the payroll system, and you can talk to your employers within the system and things like that. So you will be a part of their ecosystem. You can oversee whatever payroll operations are happening. For your clients, you will obviously do it, but in case if you are just added as a trusted advisor for their business, you still have real-time visibility as to what's happening inside the payroll here. And there's this obvious advantage of automating the entire accounting process as well. So what are we doing in terms of helping this get to different communities of accountants, right? We have established some strategic partnerships, and a few months back, we actually announced this partnership for all the members of ICAI. Payroll software is for free for the first 3 years, and you also get accounting software free for the first 3 years. Anybody who needs to take a look at what this is all about, you can check this link out, and you will have further information about how we are helping businesses get started with technology right from the beginning. And you as the trusted business advisors, we thought it will be helpful if we can get the community accustomed to technology right from the beginning, because it's not like the community is reluctant. It's just that there hasn't been anything concrete out there so far. We just want to change that narrative, and we want to introduce technology from the beginning for all these clients and advisors. So you guys can take a look at what we offer in this link, and if there are any more clarifications, you can reach out to our contact. So I was talking about a lot of customer related inserts right at the beginning, or ever since the beginning. So we will take a look at some of the success stories we've done. I have taken employees of smaller accounts because they are the ones who actually need technology to transform their operations right from the beginning and get go. So Legality is one business that have adopted Zoho Payroll right from the beginning. And if you take a look at the right-hand side of the column of the split screen on how they've benefited using Zoho Payroll, they've started running payroll 5 times faster than what they used to do. They got started with payroll in less than just 2 weeks. They onboarded all their employees, and they are able to save plenty of hours in their operations, and the exact numbers are there on the screen for you to see. So these are the digitization benefits that we bring in for the organization, and Vedatya is another example. They are an educational institution, and we've helped them digitize their payroll operations. And one of the major advantages that Vedatya explicitly quoted is, as soon as the pandemic struck, which was a very, very unfortunate situation for business owners all across the country and across the globe, businesses that were still afloat, they wanted a system that they can rely upon immediately, right? And that's the situation that we're finding ourselves right now. There's no time to, take a look at, okay, I will evaluate this for 6 months and then I'll get started sometime later. No. There's no time for all that, and whether they didn't have the time and remote transition, they didn't even feel the pinch. They were immediately able to get started, and they were all their staff, since they are working from distributed places, they were still able to collaborate in one platform, Zoho. So that is the advantage that they projected to us, and they were happy to share that. If you can visit zoho.com/payroll, you will also find their in-depth case study on how we help them grow their employee base right from the beginning as well. So these are some of the great brands that are out there in India that are trusting to do their payroll operations with Zoho Payroll. Of course, there are thousands of them now. We just compiled some of the popular ones and some of the brands that have been with us right from the very beginning. We are almost nearing the end of the presentation, but the other important aspect that we would like to touch upon is we always want to empower teams to adapt and build for the future, right? We don't just want them to build for now. We don't just want them to solve their problems just for now. We want them to solve for the future. And for that, there is an ecosystem of HR suite that we built over the years. After having decades of experience, there's Zoho Recruit, there's Zoho People and Expense and Payroll. All these form together to streamline the employee journey, right from hiring an employee till the time that you want to bid goodbye to an employee. Everything is taken care of and everything is automated, and all the data flows in seamlessly between one system to the other. So we built the entire ecosystem of products to help businesses solve for the future, as I said, rather than solving for the present challenges. And within the financials, if you had attended previous sessions, you would also know that Zoho Finance in itself has built all the financial systems that are needed to cover all the fundamental technology requirements. There's books for GST compliant accounting and a whole lot of managing your customer and vendor payments. There's inventory, there's subscriptions, and there's invoice, and then we've added expense and payroll to the suite as well. So with that, we've laid out the technology that businesses can adopt, that you as trusted business advisors can take the message to your own customers and to your trusted businesses and tell them that these are the challenges that every business is facing at this point of time, and there are innovative solutions, and this is how Zoho is solving it. And you can actually help your own business and your own businesses grow a little bit more faster by adopting all these technology practices right at the beginning, instead of trying to transition after a while. So with that said, we've come to the end of the session. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. I think it's been really informative and a lot of technology there that all of us will want to certainly first use and also cause our members and clients to use, right? And
yeah.
It's free for ICI members for the first 3 years, also kind of just adds the cherry to the cake.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yes. So I think, yes, we'll leave it to our participants. Any questions? It's a meeting mode. Either if you could raise your hand, I can unmute you, or if you feel more comfortable typing it out in the chat, I'll let you do that. So either ways, it's open. It's a meeting mode. It's not webinar mode. So we are open to having you guys speak also, and we can unmute you. You can ask your question. Or just put it in the chat also. It's fine. So, I mean, maybe, Christopher, I can ask a couple of questions while these keep coming in. Just in terms of product pricing approach, how does that work? Is there some number of employees at which we can initially begin with, and then as the team strength grows, there is a more better pricing structure because of the members and team members involved?
Definitely, yes, Ishank. So as we said, when we wanted to build the technology, we wanted to make it affordable for everybody to get started with right now, right? So as part of democratizing the technology for everybody, we have the product free for 10 employees right at the start, outright free, and they don't have to shell anything from their pocket. They will not see any reduction in features. Everything is available for them to use. Everything that they want to complete their payroll successfully from the beginning is available. And from then onwards, we've priced it competitively within the market. it goes on to a package of 20 employees, and after that, it's an add-on. So whenever an employee count increases, the cost also increases accordingly for each and every employee. Yeah.
And when organizations have a larger strength, some of these form 16, for example, which is anyway getting automated via the application, but need to be digitally signed again. That kind of just smoothens the entire process. So is there a way that those documents can be digitally signed using, say, a DSC of the authorized person?
Yep.
So this automation there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ishan. Thank you so much for that question. It's actually a very, very nice question. We have an inbuilt tool that we are supporting for Zoho Payroll. So Form 16 can be digitally signed with any of the DSC of your choice, and it's automated for all the employees in your particular payroll. It can have 1,000 employees, you can still automate and digitally sign. And we have a tool built right in within the product as well. So
okay,
you can make use of that. Yeah.
Great. I just want to know, out of this specific question, but is it restricted only to signing these documents, or is there a tool with Zoho that allows DSCs to be used for signing multiple documents?
There's Zoho Sign, where you can store different digital signatures, and that's totally built only for digital signatures. It acts as a vault as well for you to store different signatures for different purposes and then reuse it again at a later point of time. So there's a full-fledged application as well. But for payroll-specific activities, we have one built right inside the product too.
Okay. And these are these DSC keys, right? We're talking about the tokens. Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't see any raised hands. I think either you've just explained it really well. Everybody's going to straight out implement this.
We definitely want you guys to definitely take a look at this and see how far you will be able to go with this. So yeah.
Okay. I'll wait for a couple of minutes more, Christopher, if
sure,
you want to ask anything, or else then we'll just wrap up for the day.
Definitely, yes. And while we are waiting, I'd also like to let you guys know that in case if you have any questions or clarifications, you can reach out to the Zoho team at any point of time. Ishank, you are in constant touch with Narayanan, I know. So if you need any specific sessions to be posted for any of the committees going forward, we can do that. Or if you have any personal questions related to payroll, you can directly reach out to the payroll support team. support@zohopayroll.com will be the email address. I can probably share that with you once this meeting is done, and you can circulate it to the attendees here. And if you have any specific requirements of an in-depth demo on how the system actually does all these things. So what I've done so far is to give you a very high-level picture on what the domain is and how we are solving all these challenges. And if you want to take a closer look, we can definitely do a deep dive session with our team back in the office. So that's up to the discretion of the team and your team as well. So, yeah.
I think Uday's asked that question, I think, which you've almost answered, but are there any trainers available? So I think you were referring to just the fact that you were open to maybe doing a deep dive call with the ones who are interested and help them run the product and implement it as well.
Yes, definitely.
I think, Uday, I hope that answers your question. If you still have something, then do post it, or I can even unmute you.
I've put the support mail address in case if you guys want to reach out to us for further inquiries to take step forward.
All right, then, Christopher, I think we can wrap up for the day.
And sure.
Certainly invite Zoho and the team at Zoho on many more occasions, and look at bringing technology as a solution to our practice and to our clients.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking forward, Ishan. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to all the attendees for patiently listening out. And if you have anything, do reach out to us at support@zohopayroll.com, or you can get in touch with Narayan. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you everybody for joining. Thanks.